Hi, I'm Kat, I play Sims, and this is the fourth house in my Occult series. This one was the alien house, so I made it a slightly different shape from the last one. It does have a second floor, but smaller. And I wanted it to look like how an alien would expect a Sim house to look. So it's almost right, but not quite. I used a custom content roof texture and a brick from City Living. I used a base game door in the front. I was going to be making it so that there was a lot of windows, and basically I was making a sort of vague colour scheme but a very mixed bag of what things looked like. So I used a bunch of Strangerville windows as well in different sizes, and I put them at different heights. I sort of just wanted it to look like the alien that lived here knew there should be windows, but did not know how many or how they should look or how they should be placed. So I just went absolutely mad with windows. I put down a greenhouse kit texture in the front and back. I started with a low fence back here, but I eventually did change it to something taller. For now, I put dirt texture out the front with a little fence encasing it, and then I started using Get to Work and the items in Debug for Get to Work as bits and pieces to put out front. I did put a satellite dish on the roof, and I tried to put as many really strange little plants in as possible. While I was doing this build, I was really quite surprised by how little there was in the Get to Work debug to make things look really alien. I'd expected there to be a lot more for some reason, and then when I went in looking, it was the same couple of items and not a lot of variation that I could use. After that landscaping and a little bit of terrain paint, I went inside to do the floor plan. I knew I wanted some kind of strange shapes and odd rooms in here. I did decide in the end I was going to have a nursery upstairs, so I made a separate space for that. And I put a little wall between things like the entryway and the back door. I was trying to make some rooms strange shapes, but also big enough for some of the really large equipment from Get to Work and Base Game. And then I put some kind of UFO looking lights in that were from Get to Work as well. I put metal textures basically everywhere in the house. I wanted it to look kind of like the inside of a spaceship. Some rooms were definitely stranger than others, but I was basically making it so that it was a house owned by a sim who had no idea what real houses looked like and was just sort of winging it with the textures the way used to. All of the doors downstairs were archways. I considered a really big one in the big room and then decided on two smaller ones. And then upstairs I put glass doors in from Businesses and Hobbies so that you could see into every room except the bathroom, which I did decide to put a strange little door from Dine Out that kind of looked like it had a porthole in it. After I'd got all the doors in, I decided to do the kitchen, so I got some of the really industrial looking stuff. I got a fridge from Get to Work that is technically sort of for medical samples, I think, and I just put some upper cabinets in as well. For the oven, I gave them a hob top from the Dream Home Decorator kit, and I just put a little sink in there as well. And then I did give them that island to have a little bit of extra kitchen space, but I made it kind of a UFO shape. And I just put some round bar stools in that were from Dine Out as well. I just quickly fixed a plant that was clipping in the front there, and then I went back and started looking at the sitting room space. So I moved the big archway, and I put in a TV table that was actually from the fitness stuff pack and a couple of Businesses and Hobbies sofas because they had a little bit of a weird look to them. I put in an eco lifestyle fireplace because that pack does have a lot of really strange shapes in it. I layered a few of the little circle rugs, and then I found a weird shaped table from the bowling pack that I also put in there as well and just did it as nesting tables. And then I got a bunch of Strangerville posters because they fit the theme as well. I have no idea what this light strip thing was, but I chose to use it on the corner. I thought it might look a little bit spaceshipy and strange, but honestly, I don't know if it worked in the end. I did some rug layering in the kitchen area, so I had one from Strangerville and one from the base game. And then I went into the other corner to put in some posters from Debug and some of the stuff from Get to Work. So I put in an alien baby bassinet upstairs, and I did all of the items that you can make in the scientist career. There's like an alien portal thing that I put outside, and then I put up a higher fence to hide it from the werewolves next door. And then I put in a little seating area with a bookshelf from the fitness stuff pack again. I wanted the weird room downstairs to have the big giant microscope item in it, and then some of the lab stuff from Get to Work as well. So I ended up removing one of the doors and then walling in the stairs to stop that being so weird at the other side. I put in a wall of mirrors and then a whole bunch of just science looking posters. I put metal blinds up so that nobody could see into that room, and then I went to the back and added some more of the Get to Work science stuff. I also ended up using the items from the medical side of that pack because I just couldn't find as much as I wanted to decorate with. And then I went down to the entryway and used a really strange shaped sofa in there as well. I took it back upstairs for a glass desk. I was basically just going through everything in Get to Work and trying to work out where I could use it. I decided to do the one bathroom in the house next, so I used this decontamination thing as a shower. I put in a little toilet and sink that were both very industrial, and I decided that was basically all I needed there. I put in the bathtub of flowers outside because I just thought it was funny, as if the aliens didn't realise what the planters were. And then I put in some eco lifestyle and actually some Grange mudroom items out here as well. There was this really good peachy colour that went quite well with the wall texture, and then I put in a chess table out there as well just to fill in a little bit of space. I was relying heavily on Get to Work and Strangerville. I couldn't decide what to do with some of the more bare corners, so I ended up putting in a keyboard and then a fan from Lovestruck. I put up some cork boards but decided against them, and then just put some sort of degree type things and blueprints up on the wall to fill in the gaps. I did eventually put the post item on the wall, and then a little banner from high school years, I think it was, the chess club, and I filled in another space with laundry and a little robot vacuum because I thought the aliens would probably want as much tech as possible, so I gave them the weather changing machine as well. And then I went up to the nursery and tried to find as many space themed items as I could in the children and babies category. I put in a strange shaped mobile that wasn't really spacey but kind of fit the aesthetic. I had a Moschino stuff wallpaper in here, and there was a couple of different dollhouse items. I put in another crib, just a plain green one, for when the baby grew up to an infant, and then I was grabbing anything I could that looked even vaguely alien-y. I got some curtains in with stars on them, and a little robot toy, some bits and pieces just to fill in gaps that made it a little bit more like a nursery, with space rugs and toys and things. And then I moved on to the main bedroom. The bed in here isn't even from Get to Work or anything like that. It's actually a Get Famous sleep pod. I put in a base game dresser and then a video game mat in the corner with a weird little sculpture that I just thought would fill the space nicely. I put in a space mobile in the baby's room and a weird little bolt-shaped light in the bedroom. I put up a couple of Get to Work mirrors above a Strangerville desk, and I give it this funny little UFO-shaped computer, and then just another rug from base game that had a pattern that fit the rest of the room. I sized it up a little bit with tulle and filled the gap on the wall with some high school years posters, and I quickly remembered that I needed to do all my ceilings in the same limestone as I had in one of the other rooms, and with that I was done, so enjoy the screenshots. Thanks for watching. Please consider a like and subscribe.